2 of the Steve Nodine murder trial is underway. The prosecution continued its case with testimony from an expert and a man who was with Nodine and Angel Downs the day she died. Fox 10 News reporter April Douglas has been following this case for us for months now. She is live in Bay Minette with an update on the trial.
Well, good evening, Bob. Baldwin County Sheriff's Office investigator Brad Burks took the stand today to testify there was no damage to the gun used to shoot Angel Downs. Burke said it didn't show any evidence that it had been hurt when it had been dropped or even tossed. And also today, Dr. James Downs took the stand again. Now, he said he will make $13,000 for testifying for the prosecution during this trial. Dr. Downs believes Angel Downs' scene of her death was actually staged to look like a suicide. Defense attorney Dennis Nisley picked up where he left off, grilling the state's $400 an hour expert forensic pathologist. Dr. James Downs testified Friday that Angel Downs was sitting down in her driveway when she was shot in the head. Today, Dr. Downs said she could be on the way down, on the way up, or even standing like a stork with one leg up when she was shot. At the time of her death, 3 drugs were found in Angel Downs' system: Xanax, Ambien, and methamphetamine. Downs had also been drinking. Nisley asked Dr. James Downs about the interaction between all the drugs found in Angel Downs' system that night she died. Dr. James Downs said he would have to brush up on the medications and how they interact with one another. Nisley went on to say, "You didn't brush up before you gave your opinion, did you?" asked Nisley. "No, sir, I didn't," answered Dr. James Downs. Now, Dr. Downs maintains the scene was staged. He based his opinion on the injury to Angel Downs' back, the position of her hair, and the scratched button on her skirt. Well, the next witness to take the stand, Derek Hare, who was with Steve Nodine and Angel Downs on Mother's Day, that's the day Angel died. Hare testified he had several conversations with Angel that day, and she seemed chipper and happy. After her death, Hare testified Nodine called him and told him that the last time he saw Angel, she was standing by the street screaming, "Please, don't leave. Please, don't leave." Now, Nisley also made mention of what Dr. James Downs called defensive wounds on Angel Downs' hands. It was small cut to her thumb and some other places on her hand. Well, Nisley asked, could those have been made when she was opening beer caps working at the wharf the weekend that she died? And the doctor testified it could be possible, but he doubted it. However, the defense, he also said that, and Nisley then started calling the other little things teeny tiny little wounds. So a lot of testimony today, a lot of witnesses. It ended with the 911 call the night that Angel Downs was found shot to death in her driveway. And it also, today we saw video of the Don Carlos restaurant in Daphne where Nodine went that same night. We'll talk about all that coming up today at 5:30, but right now this is a story again that has generated a lot of interest. We are keeping you, there is so much information on the website throughout the day. I'm constantly sending back updates. We're tweeting, and someone who is doing that for you is Chastity Bird. There was a lot of talk today in the courtroom, Chastity, about gunpowder residue. Nodine had actually requested to have this done several times and kept asking at the sheriff's office annex to swab his hands.
That's right, April, but a gun residue test was not conducted on Nodine or Angel Downs. Now, we heard testimony today from Timothy McSpadden. He's with the Department of Forensic Science, and he said these tests were conducted mainly because it's against his department's policy because they're not reliable. Now, a gun residue test would be able to determine if there's gunpowder on an individual's hand. Now, your question of the day on Facebook, we put it up. Should this policy be changed? We want to hear from you. Should gun residue tests be required? We want to hear from you on that. We're going to take comments a little bit later on in the show, around 5:30. And just like April said, we are keeping you up to date on all this information. There's a lot of it. We heard a lot of testimony today. April is sending back updates on fox10tv.com. I'm sending back updates on Twitter, and we will continue to do that. And, of course, we have much more coming up in this show a little bit later on at 5:30. Reporting live in Bay Minette, Chastity Bird, Fox 10 News.